Happy New Year, everyone. So today we're going to be talking about IT budgets, not for us, or offices, but really for customers. So when you're looking at B2B, when you're looking at your offices of who you support, keep in mind, you can't be naive. These customers, these offices are looking every year. They have somebody designated typically to how to reduce costs. The CEO or manager, whoever, goes through all the expenses end of the year, and there's always too many expenses. So you don't want to be on the thick of their expenses. Meaning, if you currently have an IT contract with them, obviously you don't want to rustle feathers or shake the trees or whatever euphemism, acronym you could say to it. But you want to just make sure that you're as reasonable as possible. And I'm not saying to call up all the companies that you support and say, hey, don't look elsewhere, and we're still the most reliable tech support for you. But just have in your back pocket what you can offer if they do come to you. Just be ready, be prepared. Don't be, conversation might go like this. Hey, Joe or Mike or whoever, we have our IT support arrangement with you. However, I just got an email from somebody else who says they can do 50% less. So how I respond to that is, it's really, you don't want to get into just a cost comparison. You want to get into a value comparison. It's, the dynamic where you want to prove to them the value that you've given them over the years. It's not so much, hey, we can do it at, instead of $100 a month per computer, we're going to do it now $50 a month per computer. You could say, you know what, 5 years ago when you enlisted me, you came to me because you didn't like the tech company. And you didn't like that tech company because they wouldn't come to you on time, or they never listened to you, or all they wanted to do is replace computers versus repair computers. And we came in and we made sure that every time you called us, we came every day, or we responded within the hour. So you want to show them their pain point of why they came to you originally. Just remember, that's what you need to have in your back pocket. Why do they come to you to begin with? And how did you solve that problem? And why have they not looked back as well as yourselves? So you want to remember, go through those companies, especially those companies that are very important to you, that really help your bottom line. And, not just your bottom line, but feed your techs. Those techs that go out to the companies, they enjoy it, they love it because they have constant support. Whether it's they remote in or they go on site, but you want to make sure that everybody's taken care of, not just your B2B office that you're taking care of. So just have ready. It's not just a cookie cutter answer. You want to go back, really think deep about all those times, those specific pain point, why they came to you. And if you recruited them, if you went to them and you had a salesperson and attained them as a client, try to think back and remember what it was that put them over, that had them come to you. So you might have to get together with the salesperson, or you might have to look at your notes. If you have a CRM, definitely look at to see exactly what it was. And if you don't remember, look at your first invoice. Most likely that first invoice is the pain point being solved because they're putting you to the test. So check that out. Now, if you run a business where you have home users or consumers, coming to you, or home users where you go to them, it's a little bit different. You don't necessarily want to be ready for them to call you, because if it's like an as needed basis, it's more of, you might have to cut the cost a little bit, or if it's you charge them $250 an hour, you might bring it down to $225. Just if they ask, or you could be a little bit creative and say, okay, if you don't want to pay this amount, let's do a block of hours instead of $250, which would be $2,500 for 10 hours. Let's do a block of 10 hours for $2,000. So, that way you're assured that you get business and they get a discount. So you might have to be cost cutting for some of the home users, the one-by-one users, or consumers, or if they're hiring you for a project, you could do that same block of hours You could do an annual contract, you could do a monthly contract, but I think the key thing is to really, make sure that you have that business, with them, to prove that you can do it, and you're having the sympathy to work with their costs. So just as a wrap up, for offices, I definitely implore you to really, especially those important ones, to really have those pain points why they originally came to you. And then that way you'll remind them why they're still with you. And then also with the consumers, there might not be any other thing to do but to reduce the costs, but you could do it in like a future basis, whether it's block of hours or, whether you, just ensure that you have some type of monthly or annual contract, overall some retainer agreement. So that's about it. Hope you like that. If you have any other tips, budget breaking tips, for tech companies, in supporting corporations, companies, or consumers, let me know. Feel free to subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care. Happy New Year.